This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to From Dorms to Desks, job hunting tips for those early in their careers. A podcast brought to you by College Recruiter job search site, which believes that every student and recent grad deserves a great career, and hosted by Work Defined. Join our AI co-hosts as they dive into tips, tricks, and insights that will help you land your next part-time, seasonal, internship, or entry-level job. Let's get your career started.
That feeling right after college graduation, it's a potent mix, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Excitement and maybe a little bit of terror.
Exactly. One minute you're tossing your cap in the air, feeling like you're on top of the world. The next, you're staring at this wide open road, asking that huge, maybe exhilarating, but often pretty overwhelming question. Okay, what's next?
Yeah, the structure is gone. The syllabus is finished.
Right. The structured world of academia has ended, and this sprawling landscape of real life just begins. Well, consider this deep dive custom tailored for you, the recent graduate, as you navigate this really pivotal transition. We call it dorms to desks. And we're not just going to talk about landing a job. We want to talk about launching a truly fulfilling career, building that solid financial resilience, and really importantly, maintaining your well-being in this exciting, maybe slightly scary new phase. Today, we've gathered an incredible stack of resources. I mean, really good stuff. We're drawing insights from Cambridge University Press on employability, BetterUp's practical guide to 5-year planning, SHRM's deep dive into networking, UAB's essential tips for mental health,
So needed,
and RBC Wealth Management's wisdom on financial matters for young professionals. Plus, we're tapping into valuable perspectives from Honor Society and, of course, our friends at College Recruiter, the very platform behind this deep dive.
It really is a treasure trove.
It is. It's a treasure trove of actionable, thought-provoking advice. Our mission today is to equip you with the knowledge to not just find work, but to really launch a career you feel good about, build financial strength, and keep your head straight in this whole new phase.
And what I find particularly compelling here, looking at all these sources, is how they collectively paint such a holistic picture. It's really clear, isn't it? The blueprint for success has, it's fundamentally broadened. It's no longer just about the degree hanging on your wall or, the specific technical skills you've mastered. Instead, it's about this comprehensive, dynamic blend of essential soft skills, strategic foresight, and personal resilience that truly makes the difference in today's professional landscape. We're going to try and connect these dots for you, make it clear why understanding these intertwined elements is absolutely crucial for your sustained success and, critically, your happiness in the world of work as you embark on this brand new journey.
Okay, let's unpack this fascinating idea then. Employability skills. Because when we think about career success, most of us immediately jump to the degrees we've earned, the specific coding languages we know, maybe our proficiency in design software. We focus on what we can do, the tangible stuff.
Hard skills.
Exactly. But our sources, particularly Cambridge University Press, suggest there's this whole other incredibly crucial layer that often gets overlooked. And frankly, it's far more impactful than many people realize. So, if it's not just about your degree, what are these employability skills? Cambridge University Press puts it, I think, really beautifully. They say employability is more than having the right qualifications, technical skills, or knowledge. They describe it as possessing these transferable core skills and appropriate attitudes that you need to participate effectively in the workplace and fulfill potential throughout your entire career.
Transferable core skills, that's the key phrase.
It is, and most commonly we just call these soft skills, right? Now, let's imagine someone, let's call her Sarah, a brilliant new engineering grad. She can write complex code like a wizard. Okay, that's a hard skill. It definitely got her resume notice.
Sure, gets her foot in the door.
But can she explain that code clearly to a non-technical client? Can she resolve a disagreement within her project team without drama? Can she adapt quickly when the project scope suddenly changes, which, let's face it, happens all the time?
Daily occurrence sometimes.
Those are the soft skills. Hard skills like her coding ability get her in the door, but it's her soft skills that will help her thrive, help her advance, and genuinely contribute to any team or organization. They're like the grease in the gears of any professional environment.
That's a great analogy.
Without them, even the most technically brilliant individual, like our Sarah, can really struggle to navigate the complexities of a modern workplace. And when we talk about what these soft skills actually entail, the sources highlight that they are these social, personal, and emotional skills. And these aren't just, touchy-feely concepts.
Now, they're practical.
They're concrete abilities that help you work with others who have different backgrounds and potentially conflicting interests. Think about collaborating on a diverse team that takes skill. They're the skills that keep us motivated despite setbacks, enabling you to push through difficult projects or, those challenging days when things inevitably go wrong.
Resilience, they say.
Exactly. And critically, they encourage a positive attitude when challenges arise, transforming potential obstacles into opportunities for growth rather than just roadblocks. They're about resilience, like you said, empathy, and constructive problem solving.
What's truly fascinating here, and maybe even a bit alarming when you first hear it, is that this isn't just some fleeting trend employers are talking about. This is a foundational shift in what's actually valued in the workforce. Our research, particularly from Cambridge University Press, has consistently shown that graduates entering employment are lacking these essential qualities.
That's worrying.
It is. And businesses worldwide are increasingly recognizing that their future success depends on having a workforce with these kinds of social, cognitive, and emotional skills. This isn't just theory. It's backed by some truly compelling data. Okay, consider this statistic, which might it might blow your mind a little. It's cited by the National Soft Skills Association. Research conducted by Harvard University, the Carnegie Foundation, and Stanford Research Center found that 85% of job success comes from having well-developed soft skills and people skills, and only 15% of job success comes from technical skills and knowledge.
85%.
85%. That is a staggering figure, isn't it?
Wow.
It completely flips the script on what many of us probably prioritized in college. And it raises a really important question for you, the listener. If 85% of job success hinges on these soft skills, how are you intentionally developing them right now? What this huge emphasis suggests is, a fundamental understanding that while technical skills can be acquired, they can be updated. These innate human interaction skills, the ability to collaborate, communicate effectively, lead, they're far harder to cultivate later in a career.
Harder to teach, maybe.
Exactly. It's a reflection of the increasing complexity of workplaces, the rise of diverse global teams, rapid technological change, and, the constant need for adaptable individuals who can navigate ambiguous situations with some grace. Technical skills can often be taught or even outsourced, but those core human competencies, that's what truly drives innovation, fosters positive environments, and solves complex problems in today's dynamic professional world.
That 85% statistic is absolutely staggering. It really does make you rethink what you thought was most important coming out of school. So, okay, if these soft skills are so vital, what exactly are we talking about? Because soft skills can feel a bit abstract, can't it?
It can, yeah.
But Cambridge University Press helps us out here. They outline 8 key areas, almost like the essential building blocks for a modern workforce. And these aren't just definitions, they're competencies you can actively focus on developing and, importantly, demonstrating, perhaps in ways you haven't even considered. First up, let's talk about collaboration and teamwork. Now, this isn't just about, playing nice in group projects back in college.
Right, it's more than that.
It involves developing skills for successful group work, completing collaborative tasks and projects, and dealing with conflict. And the non-obvious insight here, I think, new grads often focus on their part of the project.
Their individual contribution.
Yeah, but true collaboration is about interdependence. It's about being the person who proactively checks in with teammates, offers help when someone is stuck, and mediates disagreements respectfully rather than just complaining about group dynamics later.
Being part of the solution.
Exactly. Next, communication. This is about understanding others better, presenting one's views clearly and effectively, and adapting communication for different audiences and purposes. Okay, most grads are pretty good at presenting their own ideas.
True, we do a lot of presentations in school.
But where many struggle, I think, is with active listening, truly hearing and processing what others are saying, especially in a corporate setting where the cues might be subtle. A quick tip here. Next time someone is talking, Really focus on their message, not just formulating your response in your head. Ask clarifying questions. It shows you're engaged and you actually care about understanding.
That's a great point. Listening is half of communication.
Then there's innovation and problem solving, focused on developing a creative mindset, generating ideas, and solving problems effectively. Now, many might think this is only for R&D teams or, the creative types.
Right, not for my entry-level role.
But even in an entry-level role, you can absolutely show this. If you spot a repetitive manual task that everyone just groans about, can you suggest a new way to automate it? Or maybe just streamline the existing process? Don't wait for some grand challenge. Look for the small inefficiencies. That's innovation too. Following that, we have critical thinking and decision-making, which means understanding, analyzing, and evaluating information and arguments in order to make decisions. It's the ability to dissect a situation, look at it from different angles, and make informed choices.
Not just jumping to conclusions.
Precisely. A common pitfall for new grads. They might just accept information at face value, especially if it comes from someone senior. The competitive edge comes from asking why or what if. Questioning assumptions, seeking out different data points before forming a conclusion.
Healthy skepticism, in a way.
In a constructive way, yeah. Then, leadership and global citizenship. This encourages contributing to the success of an organization, demonstrating leadership, and contributing to an organization's positive role in global issues. Now, you might think, hang on, I'm just starting out, how can I lead?
Yeah, I'm not the boss.
Right. But leadership isn't just about job titles. It's about taking initiative, owning a task from start to finish, maybe championing a new idea within your team, even if it's small. And global citizenship, especially in today's diverse workplaces, means understanding and respecting different cultural norms, even if you're not working internationally. It's about inclusion.
Being aware.
Professional development and management is crucial. This emphasizes developing organizational skills to manage time, tasks, and information, and learning to manage one's ongoing professional development. The big insight here, I think, is that you are now the CEO of You Inc.
Huh. I like that.
No one will manage your development for you quite like you will or should. Start a simple system for tracking tasks, deadlines, and most importantly, your own learning goals. What skills do you want to build this year? 2 more critical areas: emotional intelligence, or EQ. This is about developing self-awareness, learning to act with resilience, and demonstrating empathy and positive relationship skills.
Super important.
Hugely. For new grads, the challenge often isn't feeling emotions, we all do that, but managing them professionally, especially under pressure or when receiving feedback. Practice recognizing how you feel, acknowledging it internally, and then choosing a constructive response rather than an impulsive one. Easier said than done sometimes.
Takes practice for sure.
And finally, digital literacy. This means learning to use tools and creating digital content, sharing and interacting appropriately with others online, and ensuring safety and well-being online. Now, you're probably a digital native, grew up with this stuff, but true digital literacy in a professional context goes way beyond social media savvy. It means understanding data privacy, cybersecurity best practices, using collaborative tools efficiently and appropriately, not just knowing how to log in.
Like email etiquette, or knowing when not to hit reply all.
Exactly. Or understanding how to securely share confidential documents, not just attaching them to a standard email. It's about professional digital conduct. So here's where it gets really interesting. These aren't just abstract concepts floating out there. They're skills you can actively cultivate and demonstrate, often using experiences you already have from college, from internships, from volunteer work.
Right, you can connect the dots back.
Totally. For Sarah, our engineering grad, she can highlight how she managed conflicting priorities in that tough team project to show professional development, or how she patiently debugged a complex system with a frustrated peer to demonstrate collaboration and EQ. These are skills you can actively develop, practice, and then strategically highlight in your interviews and, crucially, in your day-to-day work early in your career. And speaking of active cultivation and development, how do you map out that journey? Not just for these skills, but for your overall career trajectory. These skills form the what, but how do you plan for their development and your overall path?
That leads us perfectly into planning, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
That brings us to the power of strategic goal setting. Moving from the highly structured world of college, with its clear syllabi and predictable deadlines, to the expansive, often ambiguous, self-directed path of a career. Yeah, it can feel a lot like staring at a blank map.
Definitely. Where do I even start?
Exactly. You know you want to go somewhere incredible, but the route isn't immediately obvious, and that uncertainty can feel overwhelming. But our sources, particularly BetterUp and College Recruiter, hand us a fantastic compass for this journey: the 5-year plan. Now, a 5-year plan isn't just some hopeful wish list you write down once and forget about.
No, it's got to be active.
Right. BetterUp defines it as a strategic roadmap for systematically achieving personal or professional goals over a 5-year period. And crucially, it transforms those vague aspirations into structured, actionable goals. So instead of merely hoping for, say, a promotion way off in the distant future, you're actively constructing a path to get there. You're breaking down those big dreams into manageable short-term goals and milestones that you can actually start working on today.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, having this roadmap, even a flexible one, isn't just about achieving specific goals, is it? It's deeply about reducing that anxiety we mentioned and enhancing your decision-making in what can be an incredibly uncertain post-grad period. When you have even a general direction, it empowers you to make intentional choices about your time, your energy, your resources. You're not just reacting.
Yeah, you're being proactive.
Exactly. And BetterUp highlights 8 key benefits of having a 5-year plan that really illustrate this perfectly, moving beyond just the obvious achieve goals part. Firstly, it provides clarity. It takes abstract goals like, I want a good job, and turns them into concrete steps like, I want to be a certified project manager within 2 years by completing X course and passing the exam. Much clearer.
Tangible.
Secondly, it creates a motivational framework. It keeps you focused and committed to those long-term objectives, especially when you face the daily grind or, the inevitable setbacks. Thirdly, it helps you use your resources wisely. It forces you to prioritize your time and money on what truly moves you toward your vision, rather than scattering your efforts everywhere.
Focuses your energy.
Right. Fourth, and this is crucial, it develops adaptability. It actually encourages regular review and adjustment of your strategies as circumstances evolve. Because, let's be honest, life rarely goes exactly according to plan.
Never does.
Fifth, a 5-year plan enhances decision-making. It gives you a clear benchmark. Should I take this job? Does this opportunity on with my plan? If not, maybe it's a no or not now. Sixth, it builds personal accountability.
Yeah.
You've set measurable milestones. You're tracking progress. It makes it easier to see how far you've come and stay motivated.
You can see the wins.
Exactly. Seventh, it reduces anxiety about the future by offering that sense of direction and purposeful progression. It directly combats that overwhelming feeling you mentioned earlier, host. And finally, eighth, it promotes holistic personal and professional development. It encourages intentional growth across multiple life domains, not just your job, ensuring a balanced, well-rounded life.
Exactly. And that holistic piece is so important. This isn't just about listing tasks in one area like your career. It really starts with a deep personal vision. BetterUp emphasizes the importance of articulating an ideal future in 5 years. And this isn't just a fleeting mental image. It's something you should genuinely reflect on and actually write down. Visualize it vividly.
That's real.
Make it real. Your vision should reflect what you want to achieve, yes, but also how you want to feel. And importantly, the values you want to live by. For Sarah, our engineer, it might be, I want to be a senior engineer leading innovative, impactful projects that solve real-world problems, feeling confident and challenged, while also having the flexibility to travel and maybe give back to my community. That kind of clarity becomes a powerful motivator.
Connects the head and the heart.
Yeah. And to ensure a truly balanced plan, it's vital to consider all key life categories, not just career. BetterUp suggests focusing on areas like career business, promotion, certifications, maybe even starting a side hustle, financial, savings goals, investments, debt repayment plan, health, physical fitness goals, mental well-being practices, personal growth, new skills, education, hobbies you love, environment, home, your living situation, creating a space that supports you, recreation, travel plans, activities that bring you joy, and service, volunteering, ways to give back.
It's the whole person.
It is. By balancing these, you ensure your progress is holistic, addressing all facets of your life, not just cramming everything into the career box. Now, when it comes to actually setting the goals within these categories, you have a few really powerful frameworks at your disposal. Most of you have probably heard of SMART goals, right?
Yeah, pretty standard.
Yeah.
Specific, measurable.
Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Exactly. This framework is fantastic for crafting clear, actionable steps. So instead of Sarah vaguely thinking, I want to get a project management certification someday, a SMART goal might be earn the project management professional PMP certification within 1 year by completing the online course and passing the exam by December 2025. Call of Recruiter might suggest something specific like that. It makes the objective concrete, trackable, leaves no room for ambiguity.
Very practical.
Very practical. But if you're more of a big picture person, maybe someone who needs a deeper emotional connection to their goals to really get fired up.
The why needs to be strong.
Exactly. BetterUp also introduces hard goals. This stands for heartfelt, animated, required, and difficult. These are designed for more ambitious, emotionally driven objectives that really tap into your passion and determination. So for Sarah, her SMART goal of getting the PMP certification is functional, very useful, but her hard goal might be something bigger, like become a recognized leader in sustainable engineering to leave a lasting impact on environmental protection by 2030. See how that connects to a deeper why, that bigger purpose.
Yeah, much more motivating potentially.
Totally. And while there are other methods like BHAGs or OKRs, for our purposes today, focusing on SMART for those tangible steps and maybe hard for that overarching emotional drive gives you a really good toolkit.
And this really drives home an important question for you, the listener. Which method resonates most with your personal style and the specific goal you're tackling right now? There's no single right way, no one-size-fits-all approach to goal setting. But the common thread across all these frameworks is that emphasis on turning aspiration into actual action.
Getting it done.
Getting it done. Whether it's the structured clarity of SMART for a specific milestone or the emotional drive of hard for a bigger life purpose. The key is to define your path in a way that truly motivates you and provides measurable steps forward. It's about finding the mechanism that best suits your internal compass and allows you to move forward with purpose, cutting through that post-grad paralysis we talked about.
Okay, now for the pen to paper time, or maybe fingers to keyboard time. How do you actually take all these concepts, the vision, the categories, the SMART or hard goals, and put them together into a working plan that feels achievable, not overwhelming?
Yeah, the practical steps.
Exactly. BetterUp gives us 6 pretty easy steps that make it incredibly practical. First, you choose your focus. Look back at your initial vision and decide which, say, 2 or 3 areas of your personal life and career you want to prioritize for the next 5 years. Maybe it's career growth, financial stability, and physical health, for example. Write each area down, maybe on a separate piece of paper or in a dedicated digital doc, just to give it focused attention.
Don't try to do everything at once.
Well, no, exactly. Second, consider potential goals. For each focus area, maybe divide your workspace into 2 columns. One for the actual goals and one for the action steps or skills you'll need to get there. Write down exactly what you want to achieve and how you think you'll accomplish it. This is where you differentiate between short-term goals, maybe within a year, and the longer-term goals, the full 5 years. So, if Sarah's long-term goal is teach engineering in a developing country, a short-term goal might be complete a volunteer abroad program next summer, or research visa requirements for 3 target countries. Breaking it down.
Making it bite-sized.
Third, and this step is so crucial for sustained motivation, determine your why. Write a clear, concise statement explaining why these goals truly matter to you. And display it somewhere you'll see it often. Maybe tape it to your mirror. Make it your phone background.
Keep it visible.
Yeah. BetterUp gives a powerful example. Because I believe education should be accessible to everyone, I want to teach English in Peru to help students learn Spanish and explore South America. For Sarah, it might be, because I believe in the power of sustainable technology to improve lives, I want to lead projects that empower communities and leave a positive environmental legacy. This deep why is what will fuel you through the inevitable challenges.
That's powerful stuff.
Fourth, identify annual and monthly goals. Okay, take those big 5-year goals and break them down into annual objectives. Then, break those annual objectives down further into monthly milestones. This makes the big, potentially scary goal feel much more manageable and less daunting. For instance, continuing Sarah's example of becoming a TEFL teacher. Year 1 might be research programs and complete certification. Then you'd break that down monthly, months 1 to 3. Enroll in and take a TEFL course. Month 4, pass the final exam. Month 6, secure an internship. Months 9-10, secure a job and prepare for relocation. See? It creates a clear, digestible roadmap with immediate actions you can take.
Takes the overwhelm away.
Totally. Fifth, research how to achieve your goals. Look, no one expects you to know everything right out of the gate. Identify any knowledge or skill gaps you have for your goals and proactively explore resources to close them. Moving to a new country. Watch YouTube videos from expats, join online groups, starting a business, seek out experts, read industry blogs, find mentors, learning a new technical skill, look for online courses, tutorials, join a study group. This proactive research ensures you're prepared for each step, and it reduces that feeling of uncertainty.
Fill the gap.
And finally, the sixth step kind of pulls it all together. Action steps, timeline, and resources needed. This reinforces the need for detailed, granular action steps for each goal, a clear timeline with maybe quarterly and monthly checkpoints to measure your progress, and importantly, listing all the required resources. That means noting any specific certifications needed, key networking events to attend, potential mentors to connect with, or financial resources you'll need to save up along the way. This comprehensive approach transforms those abstract desires into a fully executable plan. It moves you from just wishful thinking to strategic doing.
From dream to plan.
Exactly. But, a plan, no matter how perfectly crafted it seems on day one, is not a static document you just file away.
No, it has to be alive.
It's a living, breathing guide. It needs regular maintenance and attention to stay relevant and effective. You wouldn't just set a course on a ship and never check the weather or adjust for currents, right?
Hopefully not.
The same applies to your career and life plan. One key aspect of maintaining it is contingency planning. BetterUp wisely advises identifying potential obstacles before they hit and proactively brainstorming solutions. What could go wrong?
Thinking ahead.
Yeah. For example, if Sarah worries about a lack of time for continued education while working full-time, her solution could be to block out 2 dedicated hours each weekend for online courses with flexible scheduling. Or if unexpected expenses crop up and threaten her savings goals, like a car repair, having an emergency savings buffer already in place, which we'll definitely discuss later, is her pre-planned solution. This proactive thinking helps you stay resilient and agile when life inevitably throws those curveballs.
Anticipating the bumps.
Remember that feeling the first day of school, looking for your table in the cafeteria? Do you know anybody? Where are you supposed to sit? You don't know, but you definitely feel like there's toilet paper on the bottom of your shoe. Ugh, this is the worst. Well, you know what they say, high school never ends. I'm Anna Morgan, former corporate recruiter turned entrepreneur, and I know the workforce can feel just as complicated and cliquey as high school. Trust me, I've been there. The layoffs, the imposter syndrome, the what the hell am I doing moments at 3 a.m. It all brought one point into focus. We all deserve a place to belong and learn. So I started this podcast just for us. Welcome to your Career BFF podcast, a place where everyone has a seat at the table, complete with masterclasses, no BS advice, and candid conversations with some of my favorite people. It's the Breakfast Club meets the boardroom. So whether you're the rebel challenging the status quo, the brain strategizing your next move, or the quiet wizard making magic behind the scenes, you have a seat. So grab your backpack, find your spot, and get ready to learn, laugh, and lead together. Because in this classroom, everyone's got a BFF. Class starts soon. See you there. Bye.
Every story you love, every invention that moves you, every idea you wished was yours, all began as nothing. Just a blank page with a blinking cursor, asking a simple question. What do you see? Great ideas start on Mac. Find out more on apple.com/Mac.
Critically, regular review and flexibility are paramount. Our sources all emphasize that life evolves, and so will your priorities, your interests, your circumstances. You must regularly review and revise your plan, at least annually, I'd say, if not more frequently, maybe even quarterly check-ins. Stay flexible and be willing to recalibrate if goals or priorities change. For instance, if those online interviews for Sarah's dream job abroad don't pan out as expected, she might need to adjust her strategy. Maybe she needs to consider flying there earlier for in-person meetings, or perhaps pivot to a different country entirely. The goal isn't rigid adherence to a path that's clearly not working, but agile adaptation towards your ultimate vision.
Exactly. This encourages constant critical thinking, doesn't it? Questioning your assumptions, considering different viewpoints as new information comes in. It's all about being agile, not rigidly adhering to a plan that no longer serves you or the reality you're in. The world changes, industries shift, and you will change and grow. Your plan should evolve with you, always reflecting your current aspirations and the realities of your environment. It's not a failure to adjust the plan. It's actually a mark of intelligence and adaptability. Sticking to a failing plan is the real failure.
That's such a good point. Adaptability is key. And to help you stay motivated and make consistent progress, our sources offer several practical tips. Beyond those essential monthly and annual reviews, break big goals into small, manageable tasks. This prevents that feeling of overwhelm and maintains momentum. Seeing those small wins, checking things off the list, keeps you going.
Builds confidence, too.
Totally. Track your progress with a journal or maybe an app. Reflect daily or weekly on milestones achieved, challenges faced, and lessons learned. This keeps your why front and center and visually shows you how far you've actually come, even when it feels slow. Use visual tools for motivation like a vision board with images representing your goals, or maybe Gantt charts if you're more project-minded. Make your goals tangible and keep them visible. And please remember to celebrate successes along the way, no matter how small. As UAB News and Unlock Your Success both strongly advise, do not shortchange accomplishments. Be proud of how far you have come. Pat yourself on the back.
Absolutely vital. Acknowledge the effort.
And focus on consistency over perfection. This is huge. Small, consistent actions lead to big results. Even if it's just one tiny step forward a day, sending one networking email, reading one industry article, saving $10, that sustained effort compounds powerfully over time.
It really does. It's the compounding effect again.
So you've got your map, your 5-year plan, you've got your compass, your why, you've got your method for staying on course review and adapt. You've identified the skills you need and a plan to acquire them, but who do you bring on the journey with you, and what new strategies do you pick up along the way to navigate this new terrain effectively?
Well, you're not doing this in a vacuum.
Exactly. You've got your skills identified, you've got your plans sketched out. Now let's talk about the practical actions that can truly accelerate your post-graduation journey out there in the real world. This is where strategy meets execution, and it really begins with people.
Connections.
Mastering the art of networking is absolutely non-negotiable. Both SHRM and Honor Society stress this point heavily. Networking is one of the most critical aspects of planning for post-graduation. And look, it's not just about finding that first job. It's about building your professional ecosystem, your sort of personal board of advisors over your entire career.
Long-term view.
What this really entails is actively seeking out, and yes, reaching out to alumni, professors, and professionals in your field of interest. It also means getting yourself out there, taking advantage of opportunities to attend networking events, job fairs, and conferences, both online and, when possible, in person. Don't just sit back and wait for opportunities to find you.
How to be proactive.
You do. And the benefits of networking are profound. It definitely builds relationships and makes connections that can help you in your job search. But beyond that, it's a great way to learn about job opportunities, get advice, and gain insight into the industry. You gain invaluable insider information, understand emerging trends, and often you hear about roles before they're even publicly advertised. Think of Sarah, our engineering grad again. Through networking, she might learn about a niche sustainable tech startup that's hiring under the radar, or get an informational interview that sheds light on a specific career path she hadn't even considered before.
But it's crucial how you approach it, isn't it? This isn't just about collecting business cards or racking up LinkedIn connections like points.
No, definitely not.
It's fundamentally about building genuine relationships that offer mutual value over time. My experience suggests that the most effective networkers, even early in their careers, aren't just thinking, what can I get? They're also thinking, what can I offer? This raises an important question for you. How can you approach networking not as a purely transactional event where you're just looking for a job right now, but as an opportunity for shared learning and mutual support? What fresh perspective, maybe digital savvy, or even just enthusiastic curiosity can you bring to the table?
That's a great reframe.
And College Recruiter suggests a really practical starting point. Begin with your existing warm networks. Reach out to former professors who know your work, internship managers you had a good rapport with, or even family friends working in fields that interest you. These are often the easiest entry points because a level of trust and connection already exists. It's less intimidating.
That's really helpful advice. And networking often leads naturally to the next crucial piece, mentorship. Our sources strongly emphasize mentorship as invaluable for early career success. Handshake highlights that mentorship is a powerful way to engage students and recent graduates, upskill early career talent, and deliver the supportive employee experience they're looking for. This is particularly true because, let's face it, early talent is hungry for career development and advancement.
They want to learn and grow.
Exactly. A striking 87% of undergraduates stated that learning and development benefits are either important or essential when they're evaluating job opportunities. And specifically, 79% of Gen Z undergrads find mentorship moderately or very valuable. They're actively seeking guidance, not just a paycheck.
Makes sense. They're navigating new territory.
Right. And for you as the mentee, the benefits are crystal clear. A mentor serves as a trusted resource for early talent to turn to when they encounter questions and challenges or need some sage advice. They can offer advice on career goals, give feedback on your work or approach, and even share about their own path, including their successes and, importantly, their failures and what they learned, as College Recruiter notes.
That real-world perspective is gold.
It is. And for employers, the advantages are equally compelling. Studies show mentorship programs lead to increased employee engagement and retention, potentially up to a 50% increase. They also support diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging (DEIB) efforts, and they serve as a significant differentiator for their employer brand in a competitive talent market. It's a win-win.
Smart companies invest in this.
They do. Now, finding mentors doesn't have to be some overly formal, awkward process, especially at first. As College Recruiter suggests, you can start right within your existing network. A former professor, teacher, or coach you respected, an internship manager who saw your potential, or even a family friend who works in a similar role or industry. Attending industry events, virtual or in person, is another excellent avenue, and researching formal mentorship programs offered by companies or professional organizations can also yield great results. For Sarah, she might reach out to that former engineering professor who knows her work ethic and could potentially introduce her to industry contacts or offer advice.
Just initiating that conversation.
Exactly. But Handshake points out something really important here. We should think beyond just mentorship to sponsorship. This is a critical distinction, and honestly, it's something I wish I'd understood much earlier in my own career.
Tell us more about that difference.
Well, while mentors share knowledge, offer advice, act as a sounding board, a sponsor goes beyond that to actively champion growth and advancement. They use their influence to advocate for you.
So they're not just advising, they're acting.
Precisely. What does sponsorship look like in practice? It could involve making an introduction or connection on your behalf to someone influential higher up. It might be offering access to learning or career opportunities, like a high-profile project that you wouldn't otherwise hear about. Or it could even be providing a recommendation or referral directly to key decision makers when it comes time for a promotion or a new role. It's active advocacy. It's someone putting their reputation on the line for you, in a way.
Wow, okay. This concept of sponsorship is particularly important for you listening to understand because it highlights that active advocacy rather than just passive guidance. It means someone isn't just advising you on how to open doors for yourself. They are actively using their key to open doors for you. They're leveraging their influence and reputation to help you advance.
That's a great way to put it.
This kind of direct advocacy can be incredibly impactful, especially early in your career. It can really accelerate your trajectory in ways that mentorship alone often cannot. It's about having someone in your corner who is willing to speak up for you, to vouch for your potential, especially when you're not in the room. Finding a sponsor is huge.
Huge. And just for a creative twist that can benefit everyone, Handshake also briefly touches upon reverse mentorship. This is where early talent, like you, advises leaders or other more established employees, maybe on new technology or social trends. It offers great skill-building opportunities and valuable exposure for the mentee while providing fresh perspectives and crucial digital insights for the more experienced professional. It's a real win-win scenario.
Interesting concept. Flips the traditional model.
It does. Now, alongside networking and mentorship, there's another nonstop journey you need to embrace: upskilling and maintaining a growth mindset. Your education absolutely did not end with your degree.
Oh, it's just the beginning, really.
Right. In today's incredibly dynamic job market, continuous learning, often referred to as upskilling, is not just a nice to have. It is the name of the game for long-term relevance and success. College Recruiter highlights that continuously learning new and relevant skills shows employers that you have a growth mindset, you take initiative, and you are willing to go above and beyond to succeed. It's not just about getting ahead for the next promotion. It also fundamentally improves your confidence, gives you more tangible achievements to include on your resume, and makes you adaptable in this constantly changing professional landscape. Think of it as regularly upgrading your personal software.
Keeping your skills current.
Exactly. Practical examples of vital upskilling areas right now might include things like public speaking, data analysis, project management, AI skill building, and any industry-specific tools or software that are highly desired and relevant for your chosen field. For Sarah, our engineer, this might mean taking an online course in machine learning applications for sustainable engineering, or maybe joining a Toastmasters club to improve her public speaking for presenting project findings.
Being proactive about it.
Yes. And the good news is there are abundant, low-cost, and free resources available these days. Think LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, ADX, YouTube tutorials, and often company-sponsored training programs. You have to seek them out. This isn't a shift you wait for your boss to suggest. It's a shift you actively drive. It's moving away from that old mindset of waiting for a promotion to learn new skills. You need to plan for upskilling proactively to get that promotion.
Take ownership of your development.
Take ownership. And hand in hand with upskilling is developing probably your most powerful underlying asset, a growth mindset. College Recruiter defines this beautifully as a mindset where you believe you can improve your intelligence and abilities through dedication and hard work, through learning new things. It means viewing challenges not as insurmountable barriers or worse, signs that you failed, but as opportunities to learn and get better.
Seeing failure as feedback.
Exactly. Actions like being curious, asking questions, and taking feedback seriously, even critical feedback, are two ways you can actively exercise your growth mindset. This mindset also inherently builds resilience, which is absolutely vital for navigating the inevitable ups and downs of any career. It empowers you to see setbacks as lessons, to adapt, and to keep moving forward rather than being defeated or defined by them.
It's fundamental.
It really is. So with your skills being constantly honed and your network growing strong, how do you ensure the financial groundwork is solid beneath your feet as you navigate all this new territory? Because let's be real, even with the best plan and the best network, shaky finances can derail absolutely everything.
Money stress is real.
It is very real. For many new grads, managing finances can feel like tackling another really challenging subject right after escaping tuition bills and student loans. It's a completely different kind of learning curve, isn't it? And often with much higher stakes than any final exam.
Definitely feels that way sometimes.
But our sources from RBC Wealth Management and Honor Society provide a really clear curriculum, if you will, for financial success. They offer practical, actionable advice to help you build a strong foundation, not just for today, but for decades to come. Let's start by just understanding the modern financial landscape for graduates today. RBC Wealth Management points out that young professionals, think millennials and Gen Z, are generally highly educated, tech-savvy, and resilient. They have a tendency, which is great, to conduct their own research when it comes to money matters.
Doing their homework.
Yeah, they're proactive. They also often bring a global perspective with interest in socially responsible investing and giving back, wanting to align their values with their financial choices. So for Sarah, our engineer, this might mean looking into sustainable investment funds or ESG funds, rather than just any old mutual fund.
Values-driven investing.
Exactly. But there are some key differences from past generations that are worth noting. This group tends to be more conservative in investing compared to maybe their parents, perhaps due to witnessing major economic downturns like 2008 or the pandemic volatility.
Understandable caution.
Very understandable. They also may put off building savings in favor of paying back a student loan or saving for a home down payment, which is a really understandable priority given current economic realities like high housing costs and student debt levels. And interestingly, RBC notes many are choosing to marry or partner later in life, which can impact the timelines for things like joint financial planning or buying property together.
Changes the traditional milestones.
It does. RBC also highlights what they call the experience economy. Young adults often prefer to spend their discretionary income on unique experiences like travel, concerts, music festivals, rather than accumulating material goods. And sharing life experiences on social media is often more important than shopping for the next new things. Now, this isn't a bad thing at all. It's a totally valid preference, a shift in values perhaps, but it's a preference that absolutely needs to be baked into your wealth planning to ensure you can enjoy these experiences responsibly while still building long-term wealth and financial security. You need a plan that accommodates both.
Balancing present joy and future security.
That's it, exactly. So where do you even begin with wealth building, especially when it feels like your income is just starting to flow and maybe stretched thin already?
RBC Wealth Management gives us a really practical first things first list. They outline the core pillars of wealth building in a logical step-by-step order. The absolute first step, the non-negotiable bedrock of financial health, is to build an emergency fund. This means having, ideally, 6 months' worth of essential living expenses saved up in an easily accessible liquid account, like a high-yield savings account.
Not invested, accessible.
Accessible. This is to weather those unexpected events, a sudden job loss, a major health expense, urgent car repairs without derailing your long-term financial plans or forcing you into taking on new high-interest debt. It provides a crucial safety net and, honestly, invaluable peace of mind.
Buys you breathing room. Totally. Second, use debt wisely. We'll dive deeper into this, but the key principle is actively avoiding the creation of new credit card debt. Those high-interest balances can be absolutely insidious, and when you do have existing debt, prioritize the repayment of high-rate accounts first, usually credit cards, before lower-rate student loans or car loans. It's about being strategic with what you owe, not just letting it pile up or ignoring it.
Tackle the most expensive debt first.
Right. Third, save for the future. This is where you start maximizing things like employer retirement plans, your 401k or 403b, or contributing consistently to a Roth IRA if you don't have an employer plan or want to supplement it. The absolute key here, and RBC emphasizes this strongly, is to take full advantage of any free money offered by an employer match. If your company matches your 401k contributions up to, say, 5% of your salary, contributing at least that 5% is essential. That's basically a guaranteed 100% return on your investment immediately. Don't leave that free money on the table, seriously.
It's the best deal in finance, probably.
It really is. Fourth, watch your spending. Now, this isn't about living some kind of Spartan existence or depriving yourself of all joy. Not at all. Instead, it's about developing an attitude shift, being mindful and intentional about where your money goes, ensuring it aligns with your values and your long-term goals, not just impulse purchases or keeping up with the Joneses. It's about conscious, intentional spending.
Knowing where it goes, budgeting, basically.
Yeah, having a plan. And fifth, plan for the unexpected by securing adequate insurance. This acts as another critical safety net against major financial shocks that could wipe out your savings. Think about health insurance, obviously essential. Property and casualty insurance for your car and maybe renter's insurance, and especially don't overlook disability insurance. Disability insurance replaces a portion of your income if you're unable to work due to a serious injury or illness. It protects your most valuable asset, your ability to earn.
Often overlooked, but so important.
So important. For young, generally healthy people, RBC suggests considering high-deductible health plans paired with a health savings account and HSA as a potentially smart strategy. We'll talk more about HSA soon. They're powerful. These 5 steps really form the fundamental blueprint for building a secure financial future from the ground up.
Solid foundation.
Solid foundation. Now, debt. It can feel like this heavy burden just hanging over your head, can it? Especially with student loans being such a common reality for so many new graduates. Let's try to break it down into manageable concepts, shifting our mindset maybe from dread to strategy.
Okay, how do we do that?
Well, RBC Wealth Management makes a really helpful distinction between good debt versus bad debt. It's not all created equal. Good debt, they say, is defined as money owed for things that can potentially help build wealth or increase income over time. Think student loans that boost earning potential, mortgages to build home equity, or maybe a small business loan. These are generally seen as investments in your future.
Debt used strategically.
Right. On the other hand, bad debt refers to things like credit cards carrying high interest rates or other consumer debt that do little to improve your long-term financial outcome. This kind of debt primarily drains your resources without offering a significant future return. Think buying the latest gadget you don't really need on a 25% interest credit card.
Depreciating assets, high interest. Bad combo.
Exactly. And the credit card danger is particularly acute because of compounding interest working against you. Because of how quickly they compound, credit card balances may seriously threaten your financial independence. The advice is clear. Prioritize paying down high interest rates first, using methods like the debt snowball or debt avalanche, or explore options to consolidate higher rate credit card debt into a single, lower rate, fixed term loan if possible. Don't let those balances snowball out of control.
Get aggressive with high interest debt.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to student loan strategy, RBC offers a truly counterintuitive perspective that definitely challenges conventional wisdom. They say, think twice before paying off your student debt early. If your potential investment returns, say, an average 7% annual return you might reasonably expect in a diversified retirement account over the long term could potentially outpace your loan interest rate, maybe a fixed 5%.
So don't automatically rush to pay off loans.
Not necessarily the low-interest ones. In such scenarios, you might actually be financially better off investing that extra money rather than rushing to pay off lower-interest debt. The money could potentially grow faster invested than the interest you're saving by paying the loan off early. Now, this is not about ignoring your loans. You still make the minimum payments. But it's about strategically prioritizing where your extra dollars can work hardest for you. It's a nuanced decision, depends on the interest rates, your risk tolerance. Probably worth talking to a financial advisor about your specific situation.
Makes sense. It's about opportunity cost.
Exactly. It's also absolutely crucial to know your credit score and understand, at least basically, how it's determined. This 3-digit number is like your financial GPA. It's a snapshot of your financial reliability, and it impacts everything from getting loans to the interest rates you'll pay, even renting an apartment or getting certain jobs.
Affects more than people realize.
It really does. It's generally broken down like this. About 35% is your payment history, so always pay your bills on time. 30% is the amount you owe relative to your credit limits. Keeping balances low is good. 15% is the length of your credit history. Longer is generally better. 10% is new credit requests. Don't apply for too much credit at once. And 10% is the types of credit you have. A mix can be good. Building and maintaining a good credit score is a vital part of your financial foundation, opening doors to better rates and opportunities down the road.
Worth monitoring regularly.
Definitely. And to stay on top of all this, your income, expenses, debt payments, savings goals, you really need to develop a spending plan. Call it a budget, whatever works for you. Its purpose is straightforward: to track your money and, crucially, to identify funds that can be devoted to debt reduction or investing. A popular and often effective method, especially for new grads getting started, is the 50-30-20 strategy. It's simple. This allocates 50% of your after-tax income to needs, 30% to wants, and that crucial 20% to savings and debt reduction.
Gives you clear buckets.
Clear buckets. Let's illustrate this quickly. Needs. The 50% are your absolute basic necessities. Things like rent or mortgage payments, utilities, groceries, transportation costs, insurance premiums, minimum debt payments, including student loans. These are non-negotiables. Wants, the 30%, are the extras that make life enjoyable but aren't strictly essential. Think streaming services, dining out, hobbies, non-essential clothing, concert tickets, travel, and finally, that vital 20% for savings and debt reduction. This is where you build your emergency fund, make extra payments on high-interest debt, save for major purchases like a car or down payment, or invest for retirement beyond any employer match. This structured approach helps you see exactly where your money is going and allows you to consciously allocate it towards your specific goals, giving you a sense of control.
Control is key. It reduces financial stress.
Absolutely. Okay, so beyond just managing your money day to day, we need to talk about making it work for you over the long haul. That's where smart saving and investing strategies come into play, turning your current income into future wealth.
Building for the future.
Exactly. The single most powerful concept here, often called the eighth wonder of the world by people like Einstein, is to save early, save often, leveraging the incredible magic of compound interest. Compound interest isn't just calculated on your initial principal investment. It's also calculated on the accumulated interest or earnings from prior periods. It snowballs. This is what makes big credit card balances so difficult to pay down when it's working against you.
The dark side of compounding.
Right. But it's also what makes it possible to systematically build substantial wealth when it's working for you in your investments. RBC Wealth Management provides a truly powerful example that illustrates this better than any dry definition ever could. Imagine this: a $10,000 annual investment made by a 25-year-old for just 15 years. Okay, so they contribute a total of $150,000 between age 25 and 40, and then they stop contributing, just let it grow. By age 65, assuming historical market returns, that initial investment could reach over $1,058,912.
Wow, just from 15 years of saving.
Just 15 years early on. Now, compare that to someone who invests twice as much money, $10,000 a year for 30 years, totaling $300,000 contributed, but starts later, say from age 35 to 65. They would retire with less, only around $838,019.
That really shows the power of starting early.
It's undeniable. The clear takeaway is, time is your most valuable asset when it comes to investing. Every single year you delay, starting significantly reduces your potential future wealth due to missed compounding. Start now, even if it's small.
Start small, start now.
Exactly. Another critical factor to consider is the need to beat inflation. Inflation, as we know, is the steady increase in the cost of goods and services over time, or you can think of it as the steady decrease of the buying power of the dollar. If your money isn't growing at least as fast as the rate of inflation, which historically averages around 2-3% per year but can be higher, it's effectively losing value. You can buy less with it next year.
Your savings shrink in real terms.
Precisely. Simply leaving your long-term savings in standard bank accounts might match inflation at best, but often won't even do that, meaning your money isn't truly growing in terms of purchasing power. To genuinely grow your wealth and maintain or increase your buying power over decades, you'll need to consider investments like broadly diversified mutual funds and stocks, which have historically offered returns exceeding inflation.
Got to take on some calculated risk for growth.
You do. It's also absolutely vital to not put all your eggs in one basket. This means you need to diversify your investments. The technical term is asset allocation, which basically means investing in a mix of different types of assets, primarily stocks for growth potential, bonds for stability income, and maybe some cash or cash equivalents. The goal is to diversify your portfolio to balance risk and potential reward according to your time frame and risk tolerance.
Spreading the risk.
Spreading the risk. And crucially, when the market inevitably gets rocky because it will have downturns, try your best to stay in the market. RBC advises strongly, don't panic if the market tanks and your investments drop in value. Selling low locks in your losses.
Easier said than done, but important.
So important. Historical data overwhelmingly shows that time in the stock market has produced a greater return than trying to time the market. Trying to jump in and out based on predictions usually means missing the best recovery days and the biggest upswings, which can severely impact your long-term returns. Stay the course with a diversified portfolio.
Discipline is key.
Now, let's talk quickly about some powerful tools at your disposal that can seriously supercharge your savings efforts, often with significant tax advantages. Roth IRAs are fantastic, especially for young professionals who might be in a lower tax bracket now than they expect to be later. You contribute after-tax money, meaning your investments grow completely tax-free, and qualified withdrawals in retirement after age 59.5 are also tax-free. Plus, a key benefit is you can generally access your Roth IRA contributions, not earnings, before retirement, tax-free and penalty-free if needed, and sometimes earnings for specific things like a first-time home purchase or higher education expenses, subject to certain requirements. Offers some flexibility.
Tax-free growth and withdrawals, very attractive.
Very. Then there are 401k and 403b plans, typically offered by employers. These are arguably the single most powerful tool for building up your retirement savings in your early career, mainly because of that potential employer match we talked about. Contributions are usually pre-tax, lowering your taxable income now, and investments grow tax-deferred until retirement. The key, again, is contribute at least enough to get the full match that's free money, and ideally, automate increases in your contribution percentage each year as your salary grows.
Maximize that match.
Always. Health savings accounts, HSAs, are another fantastic, often triple tax advantage tool if you're enrolled in a high deductible health plan, HDHP. They let you save money pre-tax that you can then use to cover qualified medical expenses tax-free. Here's the kicker. If you don't use the money for medical expenses, it stays invested and grows tax-deferred, and after age 65, you can withdraw it for any reason, like retirement, and just pay regular income tax, similar to a traditional 401k. It can effectively become a supplemental retirement savings account.
That's a powerful, flexible tool many overlook.
Totally overlooked. Other potential tools you might encounter include things like stock options or employee stock purchase programs, ESPPs, often offered by tech companies or startups, which allow employees to buy company stock, sometimes at a discount. These can significantly boost wealth if the company performs well, but also carry more concentrated risk.
Need to understand those carefully.
Definitely need to understand the terms. And just to give you a long-term perspective and some tangible goals to aim for, RBC also outlines a helpful financial roadmap with key milestones by age. We won't go through every detail, but the general progression looks something like this. By age 25, aim to start your savings autopilot, 10% salary target. Build that emergency fund, maybe open an HSA if eligible. By age 30, ideally aim to have saved roughly 1x your annual income. By age 40, target 3x your annual income saved. Age 50, 6x. And by age 60 plus, aim for 8x or more, while also focusing on healthcare costs and estate planning.
Provides useful benchmarks along the way.
They are useful benchmarks, not hard rules, but guides. Now, while managing your money is absolutely critical, so is managing your mind through all this. As you build your career and your wealth, it's absolutely essential to protect your most valuable asset of all, your mental health.
Couldn't agree more. Burnout is real.
It is. The transition from dorms to desks isn't just a career and financial shift. It's a profound life change, and it can deeply impact your mental well-being. Leaving the known structure, the built-in social life of college for the wide-open possibilities, and let's be honest, the uncertainties of post-graduation life can be a real whirlwind of emotions.
A huge adjustment period.
Huge! UAB News provides a crucial look at how to maintain your mental health as a recent graduate, reminding us that May is often Mental Health Awareness Month, but really it's a topic that deserves our full, candid attention year-round. Graduation is certainly a time for celebration, absolutely. But UAB News points out, quite rightly, that the post-graduation buzz is sometimes short-lived for many due to the realities of what comes next. That initial high wears off.
Yeah, the now what hits hard.
It does. This period often presents a unique set of stressors. These can include the pressure of finding employment, maybe getting into graduate school, potentially relocating to a new city, away from your support network, fighting that dreaded imposter syndrome in a new career, constantly comparing yourself to others on social media, or simply trying to figure out what the best next move may be. It's a period, as UAB News highlights, that does not have a blueprint, unlike the relatively clear path of academic life.
And that lack of a clear blueprint is key, isn't it? It's truly the first period of life for many without that predefined structure. Understanding this shared experience, knowing you're not alone in feeling uncertain, anxious, or even full of self-doubt, can actually normalize those feelings. It's a common human response to a massive life transition.
That's really comforting to hear, actually.
It is. And on the topic of self-doubt, UAB News discusses imposter syndrome, which Dr. Angela Stowe describes eloquently as those internal feelings of self-doubt in one's knowledge and abilities, even when you've objectively earned your degree and maybe even landed a great job. Imagine Sarah, our engineering grad, starting her first big role. Despite her degree, her internships, her skills, she might secretly feel like she's faking it, that everyone else is smarter and she's going to be found out.
So common.
So common. Stowe encourages graduates to remember that they're not going to have all the answers. Expect that, even with a degree, there is still a learning curve to any job, and trust in your skills. You were hired for a reason. A key coping mechanism for imposter syndrome, I find, is to actively document your small wins and contributions. Keep a success journal or a kudos folder where you jot down accomplishments, positive feedback you receive, challenges you successfully navigated. This builds a factual counter-narrative to those nagging feelings of self-doubt.
I love that idea. Build your own evidence file.
Exactly. Your own proof.
So how do you navigate this inherently uncertain season and actively maintain your mental health amidst all these pressures? Dr. Angela Stowe from UAB offers some excellent practical advice that might seem basic, but honestly, these fundamentals are incredibly powerful. First, remember the basics and try to build some kind of routine. Without a fixed college schedule, it's really easy for routine to just vanish, which can lead to feelings of aimlessness or lethargy. Stowe advises to build a daily schedule where you maintain a succinct routine of simple tasks, such as making your bed, getting dressed even if you work from home, walking your dog. Find the things that ground you.
Simple anchors in the day.
Simple anchors. These small, consistent actions can create a sense of normalcy, control, and accomplishment, setting a much more positive tone for your day. She also strongly recommends making time to do things that one loves to do, such as a hobby, exercise, or activity, because joy, pleasure, creative expression, and physical movement are powerful, essential forms of mental health support. Don't neglect them.
Non-negotiables for well-being.
Absolutely. Next, utilize your network and support. Whether you have a clear plan mapped out or you're still figuring things out, relying on family, friends, and undergraduate connections and mentors for guidance, emotional support, and financial advice is often a major tool. As the CDC notes consistently, connecting with family and friends can help decrease stress and support overall mental health. Stowe suggests reaching out specifically to those people who are genuinely supportive and act as good advocates for your future, as having a support system and a network of connections can help combat those feelings of being alone and lost. Don't isolate yourself when you're struggling. Reach out and talk about what you're experiencing. Vulnerability can be strength here.
Connection is protective.
Totally. Finally, and this is a huge one, manage expectations. Graduates really must try to set realistic goals and expectations while giving themselves grace when faced with adversity. This means understanding deeply that applying for a job does not guarantee employment, or that rejection may very well happen, probably will happen.
Rejection is part of the process.
It is. Accepting that not every opportunity will work out, even ones you really wanted, though it's tough, is absolutely critical for protecting your mental health and resilience. And mentors, as we discussed earlier, can be invaluable here. They can offer advice and coaching for resume tips, interview skills, and job opportunities to help you navigate those rejections constructively, learn from them, and find the right fit eventually, reminding you that it's usually not personal. It's a numbers game sometimes.
Perspective is key.
Perspective is key. Now, this is a big one in today's world. Dealing with external pressures, especially in the age of constant connectivity and social media, can significantly impact your mental health. Setting healthy boundaries is absolutely key, and frankly, it's a skill you'll need and use your entire life.
So important and so hard sometimes.
It is hard. Think about those dreaded, sometimes intrusive, "so what are you doing now?" questions from well-meaning family members or friends, while they often come from a place of genuine curiosity or wanting to connect.
Yeah, usually good intentions.
Usually. But these questions can have a really negative impact if you're still figuring things out or feeling sensitive about your situation. UAB News suggests setting conversational boundaries with family and friends in a respectful manner can offer a form of protection. Having a polite, prepared response ready can save you a lot of stress. Something like, "Thanks so much for asking. I'm actually still exploring a few different options right now, and I'll definitely share my news when I have something concrete. How about you?" Or even more direct, like the script suggests. "Thank you for asking. However, I am currently keeping my next steps to myself at this moment in time until I am ready to disclose." It protects your peace while you navigate your journey.
Having a script helps avoid awkwardness.
It really does. Then there are social media boundaries, with LinkedIn being a specific, interesting example discussed. While it's undeniably a prominent professional networking and social communication website and a useful tool for job searching and connection, UAB notes that considering many posts showcase the extravagance of the various career opportunities people are receiving, some students and recent graduates have found that LinkedIn can have a negative impact on their mental health. Seeing others constantly highlight their successes, new jobs, promotions, fancy title, especially right after graduation when you might be struggling, can absolutely foster comparison and feelings of inadequacy during your own unique journey.
The comparison trap. It's brutal.
It is.
And this raises that crucial question again. How do you manage your relationship with social media, all platforms, really in a way that serves you rather than drains you or makes you feel less than? It's absolutely essential to actively remind yourself, maybe daily, that no one is posting their failures. People curate their online presence meticulously to highlight their absolute best moments, their triumphs, their wins. You are seeing the highlight reel, not the full, messy, behind-the-scenes reality of anyone's life or career.
Such an important reminder.
It is. It's crucial to monitor your feelings when you're scrolling. How does this make me feel, inspired or inadequate? And be willing to limit your usage if it becomes too much. Maybe that means unfollowing certain accounts that trigger negative feelings, setting strict daily time limits for apps, or even taking social media breaks altogether. Taking control of that relationship rather than letting it control you is paramount to protecting your mental well-being in a world that constantly encourages comparison.
Taking back control. I like that. Finally, let's talk about the bigger picture of purpose. Beyond just your specific job title or the company you work for, this is about defining your own success and creating a life that feels authentically and meaningfully yours.
Moving beyond just the paycheck.
Exactly. It's important to be aware of the very real risk of avoiding workaholism. Research cited in the Unlock It Long. Your success piece shows that somewhere between 27% to 30% of the current general population can potentially be described as workaholics. Now, this isn't just about being passionate or dedicated to your work, which is great. Workaholism is more about compulsively working to the detriment of other vital aspects of your life, including relationships, physical health, mental well-being, and personal interests outside of work. It's crucial to proactively take time to yourself to explore your other callings in life beyond work. Your identity shouldn't be solely or even primarily tied to your profession.
Finding balance in other sources of fulfillment.
Yes. Finding your purpose beyond your 9-to-5 job is a vital aspect of long-term well-being and living a truly fulfilling life. This involves tapping into your spiritual gifts, your unique talents, and remaining dedicated to the things you are passionate about outside of your career path. This could mean volunteering for a cause you care about, attending local community events, helping other people set goals, mentoring someone, or just finding your purpose beyond work in creative outlets, hobbies, nature, or community engagement. For Sarah, maybe this is mentoring younger women interested in engineering or volunteering her skills for an environmental conservation group on weekends.
Activities that feed your soul, not just your bank account.
Exactly. These activities enrich your life, provide valuable perspective, reduce stress, and contribute to your overall sense of fulfillment and meaning in ways a paycheck, however large, often never can. So the key takeaway here, beautifully summarized by Unlock Your Success, is this powerful mantra: don't let your work define you, but let you define the work you do. Remain proud of the achievements you reach along the way because your hard work got you there in the first place.
That's a great closing thought for that section.
Your career is a part of your life, an important part maybe, but not the entirety of it. Ideally, it's a vehicle for expressing your purpose and values, not the sole source of your purpose itself. So what does all this, the skills, the planning, the networking, the finances, the well-being, what does it all mean for you as you step out of the dorms and into the desks of your future?
Wow, okay. That was quite a deep dive into setting yourself up for success post-graduation.
We covered a lot of ground. We really did. From understanding the absolutely crucial role of soft skills, remember that staggering 85% of job success drivers, to crafting a living, breathing 5-year plan that adapts with you. Strategically networking and finding not just mentors, but sponsors, mastering the fundamentals of your personal finances early on, and fiercely protecting your mental well-being through it all. We've covered a truly comprehensive blueprint for this exciting new chapter. Think about Sarah, our engineering grad example. Imagine how much more equipped and confident she'd be by integrating all these elements.
Yeah, and if we connect this all back to the bigger picture, it's abundantly clear that your career journey isn't some neat linear path you follow step by step. And it certainly isn't, or shouldn't be, a solitary one. It requires that proactive planning we discussed, continuous adaptation to new skills and shifting market demands, and building and nurturing a strong support system of mentors, sponsors, peers, and friends. Your success won't just be about your individual achievements in isolation, but really a testament to how well you integrate all these interconnected elements and leverage the support of those around you.
Absolutely well said. And remember, whether it's setting that very first SMART goal for a professional certification you want, or starting your emergency fund with that incredibly valuable employer match, or maybe just taking one small action today, like reaching out to one potential mentor or connection, consistency beats perfection every single time.
Every time. Small steps add up.
They really do. Every small, intentional step builds momentum and moves you closer to your unique vision of success. So as you define your own path forward and embrace this journey from dorms to desks, here's some final food for thought. How will you measure your success? Not just by the titles you achieve or the money you make, but perhaps by the impact you have, the relationships you cultivate, and the sense of well-being you maintain along the way. What does truly defining the work you do rather than letting the work define you look like for you?
This has been From Dorms to Desks, job hunting tips for those early in their careers, a podcast brought to you by College Recruiter job search site, which believes that every student and recent grad deserves a great career. Each episode, we dive into tips, tricks, and insights that will help you land your next part-time, seasonal, internship, or entry-level job. Subscribe to this podcast for free now, so you don't miss an episode, and visit www.collegerecruiter.com to find your next great job.